Eccentricity. I don't know, you have to tell me really, because am I eccentric? I am eccentric. I'm Amanda Eliasch, and I live in Chelsea. I suppose I'm a Chelsea girl. I've always lived in Chelsea. And other than a short spurt in Paris and in Los Angeles, I would say that I was inspired when I was a little girl by Shakespeare. I mean, most people, I don't know if they read Shakespeare now or not. Let's take Twelfth Night. In Twelfth Night, there is a man in it called Malvolio, and he wears yellow ribbons on his legs because he wants to get the attention of a woman, and he thinks they're very beautiful, but he doesn't realize he looks a complete idiot. Things like that, I think reading has inspired me to think about other things. They might not immediately, I'm not going to wear yellow ribbons on my legs. I haven't got good enough legs. So if you don't read, you won't know the beauty and the richness of the English language. You are not going to get it from an Instagram photograph. I'm a writer, activist, artist, and filmmaker. I actually won some awards for my filmmaking. I've only made one film, but I've been part of a whole lot of political films too, on my thoughts. I'm happiest in Chelsea, in the heart of London, because I love the light. The light inspires me to actually get off my bottom and do some work. And also I'm very good about bad weather. I wasn't into dogs, and my family are always teasing me. They think that I'm going to give back the dog that I've just got now, the Whippet. But the fact is, she's a hell of a character, and she's going nowhere. But the others were very boring, and they had to go home. I'm sorry, but they were very boring. I didn't always live in London. I'm a sort of Wiltshire girl who came to London when I was 16, and I've actually stayed here all my life. And I don't know, I think it's the hub of creativity. Remember, all the artists lived here. The whole of Cheyne Walk was full of coffee shops and artists and concubines and extraordinary characters. When I was studying it, I realized that all sorts of weird people had lived here, and I like to live where I suppose unusual people live. I had no money when I was a child. I think actually it's worked for me. I don't want money when I was young. You want money when you're old, if you can, but you don't want this obsession with material things that we've gone through. I suppose it came from the 1980s and 90s when we thought we could have everything. As for my deeds that are eccentric, well, my sons call me the demon, and they think I don't know, okay? But somehow I got for my birthday a blue plaque saying I was the demon. And I thought, instead of being cross about it, I'll just put it up and pretend I didn't care at all. I actually was quite offended. But I think the way I live my life is probably eccentric. When I didn't like marriage, I walked out. Is that eccentricity, or is it being influenced by the fact that women's libs say that you can leave your husband if you don't like him? I think it's a combination of everything. My grandfather used to say that I look like a funeral gnome. I don't think it's really changed. I'm still top hats and tails. And he was hoping that I was going to wear a flowery dress. Growing up, I lived with my grandfather, and he made cintrinians, which is about girls' schools. And so, of course, I love mini skirts and school uniform. And they're really in my soul. I don't think I could spend a day without getting out my tails and putting on a tie. I haven't got one on today. But I used to wear the high heels when I was 13. I suppose that was one of the first things that I realized that I was eccentric and nobody else was. I'd wear them when I was about 10 in the middle of the country. I'd try and pretend I was taller. I realized that I could get very far in life if I was funny, said outrageous things. And it didn't really matter what you looked like, but if you were entertaining to be with, you could get everywhere. And as there were so many pretty girls in London, I decided to be different and try and be outrageous and say politically incorrect things and see what people's reaction is. Nowadays, you can't say the things that we used to say to each other because, of course, everything is woke and so everybody's offended. I learned that actually it was very good being blonde because I could play the ditzy blonde and then get away with a murder. Now, everybody, of course, is clever. Everybody else, you know, the younger generation wouldn't even understand about being teased about being too fat. I was continually teased from the age of about, I don't know, 4 to about now by some of my friends. You know, they call me, you know, they'd love to tease me endlessly. I don't expect love at 60. I've got people in my life that I really like, and I hope they remain in my life, but I think as a polyamorous person, I don't know where online dating fits in. Well, you don't have coup de foudre. You know that fantastic thing, you go into the supermarket and you see the man across the room and you know you're going to marry him. Well, you're not going to get that as you get older. Unlikely. I mean, it'd be fabulous if you did. But I think it's the sort of thing that happened to me well, it definitely happened to me at 25 and it definitely happened to me at 22. I saw my first husband across the room. I knew I was going to marry him. And then I saw my second husband across the room. No, I just read it in a newspaper and I knew that the job advertised was going to take me to the next husband. So, I mean, yes, I can be a bit psychic at times.